You are now listening to the Ron Paul Radio Network. Radio for the revolution.
What's going on, y'all? You're back and you're tuning in to Occupy the Media. I'm your host, Paco, up and bright and early this morning with you here at Occupy the Media. We got some more good news. Ron Paul's just going everywhere, spreading the message of liberty and freedom throughout the country. Now, they did happen to talk on the local news about the Missouri caucuses do-over and the fact that we won. And we got some pretty good coverage of that, so I want to go ahead and play that real quick for you, winning St. Charles caucus in Missouri for Ron Paul.
Republicans working to select the party's presidential nominee for Missouri are close to giving Texas Congressman Ron Paul the state's entire delegation. Fox 2's Betsy Bruce reports strong organization among Paul's supporters claimed the day Tuesday.
The Republican County Caucus Tuesday night at the St. Charles Convention Center left little doubt. More than 900 voters showed up, eager to pitch their favorite GOP choice for president. By the end of the evening, the Texas congressman was clearly in position to take all of the county's delegates to the congressional district conventions later this month.
You know, the Ron Paul people carried the St. Charles County Caucus in 2008. They're very well organized, and they were able to turn their people out. They did a good job of that.
Texas Congressman Paul's supporters were outraged by what happened at the first county caucus meeting, March 17th. No videotaping was allowed, and in the end, no votes were taken due to the confusion. This time, Ron Paul supporters had a different reaction.
Definitely much better. Yeah, it's much more smoothly. You know, as Ron Paul supporters, we really respect the rule of law. We like following rules. You know, we want things to be fair and just. And, you know, I think that the elected chair upheld the rules very well.
Ron Paul supporters hope to dominate the Missouri delegation to the National Republican Presidential Convention. They say support from Tuesday night and earlier county caucuses put their candidate in position to dominate the state convention in June.
I think that's what the primary season's for. I think it's to rally around the candidate you really support.
Will it hurt Romney in the long run? Should he be the national nominee? Veteran political advisor John Hancock doesn't think so.
Actually, I think it's helped us. You see a whole lot of people getting engaged and active in the process at the grassroots level.
In St. Charles County, Betsy Bruce, Fox 2 News.
The Congressional District Republican caucuses are scheduled for Saturday, April 21st. The Missouri State Convention to select the final delegates will be in June.
All right, make sure you remember that if you're in the area. I think she said April 21st. We want to get as many delegates as we can. This is what we need to happen everywhere. You know, we need, you know, if they do try to shut it down, postpone it, whatever they do like they did in this case, we still came back and won. I mean, they can't do anything with us. And then now that Santorum dropped out, you know, it's probably even less amount of people that want to go out and be delegates for the other candidates. So that's what we got to keep doing. We just got to keep pushing. We can't give up. We can't get discouraged. You know, we are winning. We do got the momentum. So, we just got to keep going at it. And this proves here that Ron Paul is the only one that can beat Obama. There was just actually a new poll out here on RonPaul2012.com. Candidate Ron Paul again polls better against President Barack Obama in a head-to-head matchup than establishment choice moderate Mitt Romney, according to a poll released today from Rasmussen. So you can go to the Rasmussen website to see that poll. The poll notes that in a general election matchup, the 12th-term congressman from Texas edges out Obama by 1 percentage point, 44 to 43%. The survey also notes that in a hypothetical 2012 head-to-head, Obama and Romney are tied at 45%, which bodes poorly for Republicans being urged to believe the race is over, only to later experience buyer's remorse. Now, I just want to say that I truly believe the Republicans want Obama to win on purpose. And I'm not talking about people that call themselves Republicans, but the establishment. The establishment knows Mitt Romney cannot beat Obama. It's a joke. This is ridiculous. In fact, anybody thinks that any Republican besides Ron Paul can win. You got to remember, man, Bush made it really unpopular to be Republican. George Bush made it really unpopular. The Republican Party has downsized majorly since his administration. And what happened? People were excited that there was a black candidate for president, and they were excited that it was somebody different. It was talking differently, talking change. And so the whole point of everybody that voted for Obama, the whole point of that was they were sick of Republicans, or they were tired of Republicans, or they didn't trust the Republicans no more. That's why so many people were leaning towards him. People were so frustrated in this country with what's going on. So now that Obama upset everyone, they think they're going to jump right back to the Republican ticket? No way. They're just going to stop voting, period, like they're doing now. A lot of people ain't voting. They're not showing up. It is ridiculous that CNN, MSNBC, and Fox spend all day talking about the right wing and the left wing when the majority of the country is neither. They're independent, but nobody's speaking to them. So it's amazing. It's like we have an election just for a few or something, because they don't cater to the people who don't care. They only cater to the people that are brainwashed, the people that can keep this corruption going. Now, some other good news. Ron Paul, and this is an RT.com, Russia Today, Ron Paul fights the Fed in a new video game. Houston, Texas, Daniel Williams is just as old as Super Mario Brothers, but it's only now that the programmer is giving the game a much-needed makeover. Forget Nintendo's official sequels, Williams, at 27, is about to bring a new meaning to GOP. Ron Paul, The Road to Revolution. This borrows from iconic video games including Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Castlevania, but combines the classic side-scrolling gameplay that made those titles smash hits with America's favorite 76-year-old political candidate. Instead of a Pertubed plumber or a Speedy Blue anamorphic rodent performing as protagonist, Williams relies on Republican Party presidential hopeful and Texas Congressman Ron Paul to grab the attention of gamers. Throughout the course of the game, still in development, the player navigates Ron Paul around America's 50 states, facing against bad guys at the 13 branches of the Federal Reserve. Along the way, Paul has to pick up pieces of gold, avoid the disembodied head of neocon former President George Washington Bush, and as if there was any doubt, eventually end up embroiled in an epic encounter between Paul and Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke. At this, predicts Williams, the game will be ready by this July. Once he has hammered out all the kinks and the game is good as gold, he hopes to release it for free on the web and then perhaps put out a copy on the Xbox Live Arcade and maybe a mobile version as well. And that would be awesome, we can get Ron Paul's name everywhere, video games, who knows who probably be a movie about him one day. So that would be great. Keep an outlook on that. Again, his name is Daniel Williams from Texas. That'll be pretty cool to have Ron Paul in a video game. I wonder if he's running around with a gun or whatever, going around shooting up the GOP or something. That would be crazy. But, of course, we're all about peace over here. But, video games. The government likes these violent games anyways. They like people to play them and then send them off to Iraq and do the same thing. Anyways, we're coming up to a break. We got a real great clip coming up from CNN that I really think everybody needs to hear about the Afghan massacre. All right, I'll be back. Occupy the Media. I'm your host, Paco.
This national poll shows that Ron Paul is the best candidate that stacks up against Obama.
Well, Ron Paul wants to take away my Social Security, so I don't like him.
He's actually the only candidate that has a real plan to save your Social Security. Not only save it, but save the purchasing power of your monthly check.
Prices have been going up a lot lately.
We need to make cuts. Bring our troops home to protect our own shores and borders and rebuild our economy. Every other Republican candidate has proposed massive spending increases, not cuts.
And you say he can beat Obama?
He's got independents and young people coming out like no other candidate. The polls also show that he attracts some Democrats. It's time we start thinking about what kind of world we want to leave for the next generation.
I can make up my own mind, Martin. I don't need a lecture.